What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Straight Betting. And guys, I know it's been a minute on YouTube. Shit keeps on happening, but hopefully, your boy's going to be here to stay this time. One can hope. And if you guys are still listening on podcast forum, we appreciate you. And we're going to keep on posting it there. So don't be afraid. We're going to keep on posting stuff there. Anyways, guys, today is, it's Thursday today when we're recording, but this is going to be for Friday, May 9th. We got two games. We got the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are injured as shit, versus the Pacers, and then we got OKC at Denver. And, of course, if you look at the bottom left corner of your screen, we are joined by Bubs Betts. Bubs, how are we doing today?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Good. You said good, but you were just complaining about that puppy all day.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, new puppies are crazy. I mean, they're just like they're not a kid, but they're close.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
it's at least like if you have a newborn, they have diapers and stuff. They just won't go to the bathroom in your house. The puppy, you have to be on high alert all the time. And we just moved into this place a year ago, so everything is brand new.
Can't really afford a shit stain here and there.
No. He already costs enough.
Yeah. I remember when I first got my puppy, they just the people kept on recommending me to get these things called puppy pads, which is little fake pieces of grass that you just put around. I was like, I'm not doing that shit, dude. First of all, they're $40 a pad or something ridiculous. And that just it's encouraging them to shit in the house. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, exactly. We have a little bell on the door. So every time we take him out, we hit the door or hit the bell to make sure he sees. So that way when he actually develops a little bit of common sense, he can just walk to the door and smack the bell every time he gets to go out.
Really? Oh, that's actually that's a high-tech move. I don't think my pup's brain would comprehend that, to be honest. But
well, he doesn't yet. Right now, he just smacks them just for fun because they create noise. We'll get there.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, moving to the games. We're going to start off with the first game, and this game is a complete shit show, by the way. Complete shit show. I don't have much cap on it. Setting the stage, though, guys. Obviously, absolutely desperation spot for the number one seed in the East, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Last game, they were without Darius Garland. They were without Evan Mobley. They were without DeAndre Hunter. With Darius is battling that toe. Mobley is battling an ankle. DeAndre Hunter, I think, screwed up his finger pretty badly. Bub, what do you have any thoughts? Have you seen anything on Twitter or something that's hinting if they're going to play or not?
Yeah. I saw earlier one of the Cavs beat writers said that those three were at shoot around, but they didn't go through any contact in their practice.
Okay. Interesting. So that would kind of make me feel like they're playing, right?
Yes and no. I'm just trying to, obviously, college basketball and NBA, especially D2 college basketball and NBA, is not even in the same stratosphere. But I'm trying to think of when I or teammates were out with injuries, the rehab process they would go through. They would never send us out in games without going through contact practice first. Obviously, they're NBA players and athletes, and their bodies are a lot, more durable than ours and at a higher level. But especially in a playoff game and a significant one, I just feel like it'd be really hard to just go from not going through any contact to going right into a playoff game right away.
Yeah, for sure. I guess the thing is, Evan Mobley, I feel like ankles usually you can play on. Garland's toe feels pretty significant. It's kind of like a turf toe thing, which is definitely something you don't want to mess around with. Definitely something that's painful. And then Hunter, if your finger's all messed up, that's probably not great either. Do you have any thoughts on Cavs stuff? Obviously, I think we talked about this a little bit. Donovan Mitchell, the Pacers have been winning games with him just going absolutely stupid. They've been kind of staying home on the shooters to an extent. Mitchell's literally not even shooting the ball really great, especially from deep. and he's like putting up 33, 48, and only on 34 minutes and 36 minutes. I mean, Bubs, you'd have to assume that Kenny swallows his pride and gives him 40 here, right?
Yeah. Pacers aren't going to make any adjustments, obviously. I think they're fine with, playing him one-on-one. I think a lot of last game, because I saw a lot of comments on Mitchell's minutes, I think – here's my other dog. There's a lot of – he would have got more minutes if Ty Jerome could have, taken some pressure off of him. But when you – all right, like what was the average? Like 30 minutes during the regular season, 30, yep. 31. When you go from that workload to having an insane usage rate and having to create something every time down the court in a playoff game, like you're going to be gassed. So I feel like they were just trying to find spots for him to rest. And if you have someone on the court that can, create here and there and you can take possessions off on offense, you can, kind of see a higher ceiling for minutes. But obviously this is like a spot where I think Mitchell and Kenny both know like he has to play 40 plus.
Agreed. So would you say if you like had to pick a Cav prop, I'm looking at his usage rate last game, 46%.
Yeah.
Jeez, yeah, that's ridiculous. And especially with all that driving too, right? I mean, if you're getting to the stripe 21 times, you're driving, just putting your head down. That's like what really is exerting energy. Yeah, he's been ridiculous. Like, would you say Donovan, like, if you had to pick a prop to play right now, Mitchell overs would be the way to go?
Yeah, I mean that's the only thing that sticks out for me. I also think if he can get his outside shot to fall too, he won't have to exert as much energy as driving every single time.
Yeah. Yeah, Bubs. And one thing I picked up on is that the Pacers are actually sitting in drop coverage against Donovan, like pretty much every rep. So the numbers don't look good, right? I mean, getting up 11 threes is good. And then maybe he just got to a point probably where he might have even just like given up on it. Because I did see him like turn down like a pull-up three and, cross over and just like, sprint to the rim and, get fouled or something. But they've actually been playing drop coverage on him a decent bit with Miles Turner. We're getting some plus money now for over 3.5 threes. Is that like interesting to you? Maybe a little buy low on Mitchell's threes? Because that's kind of like, I actually was about a live bet it last game, and thank God I didn't. But I saw like the pick and roll reps in the second half. I'm like, what? He has no threes right now, and he's getting drop coverage. And then he hit a three, and I'm like, okay, now it's at 2.5. I'm good. But so I didn't play it, thankfully. But yeah, but what are your thoughts on this?
I love it. I think last game was just like a glimpse of, even though he had 48 points. I mean, what more could you ask? I think he could be even more efficient, and you can even see more room for growth if he can get that shot to fall, because obviously, like you said, the drop coverage and stuff, he realizes he can get to the rim anytime he wants. But like I said, if he can, save some energy and just knock down a couple threes, he's decent in the mid-range. He's got that little floater going. At 3.5 plus money is kind of insane for a guy with his skill set and usage rate in the playoffs.
Yeah, for sure. And Bubs, I think this is a little bit interesting. Ty Jerome has a 14.5 line. I know his line was like 20.5 without everyone, but this line seems like Garland's sitting kind of, or Mobley's sitting, at least one of the two. That's strange.
I think Garland's going to sit.
Yeah. Maybe Mobley toughs it out.
Mobley, yeah. Maybe just more so for like defense and size, or just kind of some type of decoy out there for Mitchell. But when you consider like Garland's play style, like very quick twitch and shifty, he's planting on that toe and cutting like pretty much every time. It's not like he's running off screens or sitting in a corner. Like his entire game revolves around, crossovers, step backs, stuff like that.
Yeah. So I know you said you don't really play unders, but I mean, that's like that would make sense. Just like this dude's hurt as shit. Let's take his under 25.5 PRA. There's a chance that he gets hurt mid-game. There's a chance that he plays 24 minutes. There's a chance that he's just completely ass, like compared to him. Would you potentially think about that?
Yeah, because like the Cavs, they manage stuff so like they're so cautious with everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen it, especially in the playoffs. If it's a regular season game, yeah. But like if you're trying to prevent players from getting hurt or you're trying to rest them and your season's on the line, you would think that he'd be playing already if he was able to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, for sure. So it's like it's almost like telling. It's like they're probably forcing him back down 2-0 and stuff when he's not ready to hoop. That's interesting. So I guess this is like actually a very strong lean of mine. But the more I watch Jared Allen play in the series, the more he just looks like a liability. I mean, it's just tough for him with Miles Turner's ability to pop. And I know that they tried, switching him a decent bit. And Jared Allen just like being involved in all these actions, just kind of leading to a ton of like, Halliburton gets switched out on him. He can create a three at will. He can, drive past him and create a catch and shoot look. Pacers are really good at swinging the ball around after someone creates an advantage. The more I watch Jared Allen, he just doesn't look great on defense. He's really like having to defend a lot on the perimeter. And so he had 5 rebounds in game 1. That was obviously with Mobley. He had 12 on 25 chances in 38 minutes. Obviously, this isn't like one to, probably play right now. But what are your thoughts on maybe like Jared Allen unders if Mobley's to go? Or is that just like, I mean, that is pretty risky though, just like given that like even if Mobley plays, it's like, okay, what if he's just like not ready to play at all and he himself looks like shit? But I don't know. That's Jared Allen. The more I watch him play, it just kind of looks funky for this matchup. So I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
I would be more for it if they had like anyone else they can go to. It's not even like they can go small ball, right? Like your bigs are Allen, Mobley, and then you have like Dean Wade and Tristan Thompson are like your serviceable guys that you could maybe run small ball 4 or 5 with. But since they're so limited, it's tough. Like you said, if Mobley is just out there to be a body for moral support, whatever the case may be, yeah, I don't know. I think I'd feel more comfortable with maybe taking Garland than Mobley or Allen.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I actually agree a ton with that. Yeah, that Garland one, the more I think about it, like the way you described it about, I mean, like, yeah, that is his play style. If that dude, he's not going to be a good player if he can't, if he can't cut and move well. Like that's like what makes him like an NBA player,
Right. He's in the league because he's quick as shit and has a tight handle. If not, like, he's not very serviceable.
Oh yeah, and then he's just gonna get hunted on defense. Like it's gonna be bad. So yeah, I mean, you could even see him maybe even being like unplayable, like if he's not effective with off that toe. Okay, so that's kind of our Cavs thoughts. Obviously, complete shit show, right? Like take all this with a grain of salt. What really matters is like who actually plays and stuff, and keep an eye on reports and watch players move around and stuff, all that stuff. But Bubs, on the Pacers side of things, I have not had a good read on the Pacers at all this postseason. I've kind of actually just stayed away from them. I know you said just like keep on betting what's working, and I tend to agree because I just think that as long as Allen's out there, this offense is going to continue to like generate really good stuff. But do you have any thoughts on Pacer stuff?
For individual props, no. Like I know I said that you could probably keep taking the same props that you did from game 1 and just roll them over. It's not like the lines are moving a whole lot because their offense is so unpredictable. Nemhard is always great because he's going to get minutes as the point of attack defender for Mitchell. Same thing with Nesmith, he's a case where like he's crushing his line, but he's also super efficient. Like I feel like I can't remember the last time he's missed a spot up opportunity.
Yeah,
Um,
just wait till you bet on him. Then it'll be Aaron Neesmith 0 for 1 at the stripe,
oh,
2 for 8 from the field, and 1 for 7 from deep.
yeah, I can guarantee an Aaron Neesmith under right now if I just take his over.
One guy that I think is like due a little bit of regression is Matherin. He keeps on kind of like lucking into minutes to an extent. And one of these games, he's just going to play shit minutes. In this one, obviously, like you said, Neesmith is going to be playing big minutes if he's not in foul trouble. But Neesmith played like 25 minutes. Matherin got 23. So like they literally split them down the middle. And then in this one, I think he only had like 7 or 8 first half minutes. And then he just caught fired in the third quarter. You know, it's just like a hot hand dude. And then he only ended up with 20 minutes, and that's because of Neesmith in foul, or then that's just because he was so good, but no one was really in foul trouble, and he still only ended up with 20 minutes. So I think like one of these games, if you just get like a mid Matherin performance where like he isn't doing anything crazy, I just think his unders are going to be super valuable. He's probably going to end at like that 16-minute range or something, and I think that. I mean, obviously, like he has ceilings, but it's all predicated on like weird shit happening. So it's like I think like a good like projection for him would be like 18 minutes or something. And I don't know, this is like 15 to 22 his hit rates. So yeah, that's a one thought, but I don't really have much else besides that. Do you have any thoughts on that Matherin or any other pacer stuff?
No, not really. I know he got in foul trouble early. I think it was last game, and then I don't know what happened, but Carlisle sent him back in and just kind of rolled with it, and that he had that really good quarter, and obviously they wrote him out. If I was like a team total guy or like a side better, I would probably even just look into all Pacers overs. You don't have to worry about focusing on individual guys hitting, but Pacers offense is just like the opposite of what Allen provides as an anchor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I agree with that. And the spread, seeing that Cleveland's like favored it here, I don't know, man. I totally get it. It's like tough. It's like, okay, this team is actually like really fucking good. Yes, they're hurt, but like, are they really going to go down 3-0? I don't know, man. Indy's a tough place to play in too. Like they got a good home court advantage. So probably just going to be one thing I will say about this game is that I think it's like, I don't like using the word a lock, but I think this game is for sure going to be hyper competitive, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's going for you for overs and stuff like that. Okay, let's move on to the next one. OKC at Denver. We got a 4.5-point spread in Denver. I tend to think that these games in Denver are going to be super competitive. Like honestly, that blowout, Bubs. Are you surprised that game was like a blowout at all?
No, I didn't even play anything in that game yesterday. I think I had like a small parlay that I had included, but it was for both games. I didn't have like any individual stake in it. But yeah, it's especially I knew OKC would come out firing, and then I saw Scott Foster was the crew chief for game 2, and I already knew how I was going to go, and not even that the game was competitive to begin with, but Jokic ended up fouling out. That's just like a prime Scott Foster masterclass of doing what he's supposed to do.
Yeah, the extender.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Bubs, is there anything? I guess I'll touch on what I saw in game 2 that was different from game 1. So in game 1, they had a way too much Chet on Jokic, and like it was just like a offensive rebound massacre. Like he would just catch. You would be able to get so deep on him, and like that he was just like giving up like 90% chance or 90% looks to Jokic and stuff. It was pretty poor defense, but they came out and like did the sensical thing and put Hartenstein on him for like the entire time. Him and Jay Will actually got some backup burn and faced him. I do think that in a hyper competitive game, I played this last time and kind of got lucky because the game was such a blowout. But I do like the PRA per minute spot for Isaiah Hartenstein against Denver. Obviously, his minutes were shit last game, and kind of got lucky that he went over by playing 22 minutes. But I really like Hartenstein again, man. I just think that you need to have. I mean, how much do you really want to play Jay Will like in like assuming this game's competitive? I don't know, like 6 minutes or something. So, but if this game's competitive, you're probably going to see Jokic around like that 42, 44 minutes. And I seriously think that you need like Hardenstein on the floor, assuming he's not in foul trouble for most of those minutes. So Hardenstein's someone I would be willing to go back to. And like, obviously, Bubs, this is like, I think it's a good PRA per minute matchup for him, but it's obviously like playoffs and, this is regular season. But I mean, this is like Hardenstein with like 28 plus minutes this year. I mean, just like ridiculous stuff. And like I said, I do think Hardenstein, you'd see him around that, 33, 34 minutes in like a close game, no insane foul trouble. So that's kind of a thought that I have. What are your thoughts on Hardenstein?
I like it just because there's so many – the way he's used in the offense, there's so many outlets to exceed a certain line to kind of push you over. Great passer. Obviously, his size is needed too. And like I said, the way that they use him and how Jokic defends, he can get to that push shot, and they can also use him as a hub as well and just get like those cheesy little assists off handoffs or skip passes.
Yeah, for sure. Short roll stuff too. I mean, yeah, Hardenstein, good player for sure. Yeah, I mean, he was like a very good PRA per minute guy. I mean, in the regular season, right? He averaged 27 minutes, 25 PRA. So, yeah, I mean, I think this line's a little bit short. Next one, Bubs. I'm probably going to give this one a rip. I think it's like an amazing buy low. So the books see that Caruso played 10 minutes, right? And I remember they did this against Memphis too, where in that game one, where Caruso, he played his first minute, first half stuff, and then he's just like a guy they want to rest, right? They're not going to give him. They like let the starters basically play all the third, and then obviously the game's out of reach, so they rested them. In game one, Nuggets left him wide the hell open, and it worked. I mean, that's just like a good. You want Caruso taking as many shots as possible, like compared to Shea, compared to Chet, compared to J-Dub. Obviously, Denver found success doing that with Chris Dunn and Derek Jones last series. And they came out game one, did it with Caruso. It worked. He just didn't get his looks in this one. Obviously, only played 10 minutes and stuff. Had 4 potential assists, which is pretty cool in 10 minutes. So maybe you could even look at PA or something. But yeah, I'm willing to buy low on Caruso here, man. I think that he's just such a good player, such an impact player that when the games are actually close, like I said, we saw 26 minutes there. 26 minutes against Memphis, 23, 22 in like a semi-blowout. So like if this game's just not a massacre, he's probably going to be at 20 plus minutes and stuff. So yeah, and I think that shots are going to be funneled to him a little bit. But yeah, I think it's a great buy low coming off of a 10-minute game, definitely factoring into his line. We saw what he can do in this matchup in game one. I think I'd be willing to take a stab on Caruso here. What are your thoughts here?
I completely agree, especially when you look at why they made the move in the first place. You get rid of Giddey, who wasn't really playable in the playoffs under that system.
Under that system, are you trying to pump him up for the Bulls?
No, I'm not trying to do that at all. I'm just saying they had him. When you have Shea on the court, you're not going to use Giddey as on ball, right? So you're going to leave him off ball to shoot wide open shots. Compared to in Chicago, we don't have a Shea. So he's going to be on ball more. But if he's not knocking down a shot and he's not a great defender, then what purpose does he really serve? So you go get Caruso, who can knock down a 3 here and there, and he's a great on-ball defender. And the fact that he wins like every 50-50 ball as well, that's an automatic rebound or an assist as well.
Yeah. Said Bulls don't got a Shea. Y'all got THT. Y'all are chilling.
He thinks he's Shea at times.
THT Loki be putting up crazy like per minute numbers, and sometimes I'm not even gonna lie. Sometimes I watch THT, and he kind of moves me. Like his drives are like vicious sometimes.
Yeah, there's times where he kind of just does that, and then there's times where like you want to rip your hair out. But I remember even like when he was in Los Angeles and he wasn't in the summer league because they thought like he was the next big thing. was like, what are we doing, man? He's not that guy.
Yeah, THT, man. He has his moments, good and bad. But yeah, to the listeners, to be honest, guys, I'm going to play this. So this is an official play. Caruso over 12.5. I'm not going to play it right now. I have not played it yet, but I'm going to lock it in right afterwards. This is just like exactly what I look for in the playoffs, man. Good buy low, perfect buy low spot actually. And we just it didn't come to fruition, but we know Denver is more than willing to give up an open shot to Caruso. So, and on the other side too, you can even like look at this. Okay, there's not many books that have it, but like, and this is kind of like you're playing with fire number, I guess. You could sell me on some like unders on Joe and Wiggins maybe as well, just because those two are clearly like the odd men out when push comes to shove for them. So found that a little bit interesting.
Which is unfortunate because I love some Aaron Wiggins.
Yeah, no, that's ridiculous. Like honestly, if Aaron Wiggins ever gets to a point this playoff run where he's like DNPing and stuff, that dude should like request a trade and fucking like go like play like 25 minutes a night on like a different contender, because he could definitely. I think he's a great player.
He's a baller, man. He can really play. It just sucks that you're behind SGA and J-Dub.
Mm-hmm. And then even like Caruso's off the bench, like Wallace's, like dudes are just like ultra winning players and stuff.
Right.
Great defenders. Let's see. Do you have any thoughts? So obviously I talked about 2 role players that I really like. Even some like role player unders and stuff. Like with the main guys, does anything interest you? Like the Shea, J-Dubs? Like I know Shea's been kind of having crazy assist stuff. Like, I mean, yeah, look at this, Bubs. 21 potential assists in 40 minutes and then 17 in 30 minutes. That's pretty good looking. Bet 365s. About a little behind per usual, but
yeah.
Shea. So I mean, you could even look at like rebounds. Like I like this rebounds and assist number at 12.5, especially with like minimal juice. I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on Shea?
I think I didn't get to watch a whole lot of last game in the first half, and obviously by the time the second half was around, it was a blowout. But I know, and I remember in game 1, he still got his numbers right, but they were trying to limit a lot of his mid-range stuff, and they were fine with like leaving Dort or J-Dub or like Caruso wide open. Like as long as they took Shea's mid-range away and anyone else shot, you could see Jokic immediately not even bother to contest, but he's just automatically going to go, try and get the rebound. So assist-wise, yes. And then rebounding, as long as you're not the point of attack defender, which he's not, he kind of floats around. And then Jokic is kind of not a traditional center. He's more a lot of high posts and stuff like that. You're automatically going to drag Chet away if that's who they're going to go with, or Hartenstein. He can get those long rebounds as well, which he did in the first game. I believe he was close to a triple-double.
Yeah. Yeah, he had a great rebounding game in game 1. 18 chances, 10 rebounds. Only had 6 chances in game 2, but yeah, no, for sure. I think Shea rebounds and assists is actually like very enticing to me. And on the same thing, like Shea, what you mentioned earlier, they really are trying to take stuff away from Shea. I mean, they're playing zone. They're giving Shea tough coverages. I mean, this dude literally shot 11 for 13 and 11 for 11 from the stripe. I mean, what is that true shooting? Like 100?
Yeah.
The way that shit's weighted?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, that's ridiculous. So,
or like
but
90 something.
Yeah. I mean, it's always scary fading Shea, but I do think 33.5, bro. I think that's like too high. I'd probably set it at 31.5 personally, but any other thoughts on OKC stuff?
I think I'm not a big fan of him, but I think Jalen Williams is just, I hate using the word, but just due, essentially. Like the first game, as I mentioned earlier, they were completely fine with him, settling from 3. and obviously he wasn't efficient at all. 5 for 20. Last game, you can't really use too much as like a variable because once you're in a blowout, literally schemes just go out the window.
Yeah.
But I think Shea's going to get his numbers regardless. But if OKC wants to make a run, there has to be like a clear second option, which he's supposed to be, but hasn't been in these playoffs or in years past. Like he has to get it going.
Yeah, he does. The thing is, I wish that if like we were betting on like a buy low for J-Dub, I wish it was like 19.5. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a fan of like the number. Like I feel like
No.
they're baking that in here.
They are, because I mentioned it yesterday to someone. I was like, if the line was like 19.5 juice or like even 20.5 fairly priced, I would completely be on board with it. But I think they're accounting for the same thing, to where if you're going to take Shea's mid-range away, someone else has to step up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, should be J-Dub. Okay, I kind of touched on enough with that. One thing I noticed, dude. So the adjustment that obviously they put Hardenstein, but one thing that I saw early in the game, especially when it was like actually like like an actual basketball game, they were doubling Jokic like super aggressively, and by doing so, they were like almost like trying to bait him to pass to Russ and Bron by like how open they were leaving them. So, man, I don't know where the hell the books are pulling this 12.5 line out of their ass for Bron, because he's had 11 and then, 3? But his threes is a plus money at least. Okay. At plus 155, I do think his threes are enticing. Like I said, man, that in game one, Jokic had, 40 points. He still got up 4 threes, and Aaron Gordon had a monster game too. And then all these threes were like super early in the game too, which I think is more important. Like if you want to go and just like look at the box score and click on first half, I think Brown was over 3 from deep, so that's good to see. And obviously, like when you're a hesitant shooter to begin with, maybe there was like 1 or 2 where he like could have shot it and then like pump faked it or something, especially when you're like 0 for 3. But yeah, they're going to leave Brown. I think the adjustment is to, leave Brown pretty wide open, leave Westbrook pretty wide open. If Watson's on the court, leave him pretty open. Aaron Gordon even. I mean, maybe he's been shooting the shit out of the ball. Man, can we quick take a second to just talk about Aaron Gordon? I'm so impressed with him as a player.
I thought he was always really good in his role, but like he's really stepped up big time. Like obviously they don't win round 1 without him. And you don't get to say that about a lot of role players, right? Like I always say that stars win series, role players can steal a game or two, but when you're guarding like the best guy in the court or the second best guy in the court every night and you can still produce offensively, that's really rare in the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, he's a lockdown defender, great for guarding like prototypical wings that are like, usually like the best players in the league. He's a connective player. He can be like the perfect dunker spot person, especially when healthy. And he's been like playing with like a shitty calf like for a while too. And now he can shoot. It's like, man, he's just like a fucking perfect role player. So yeah, quick give Aaron Gordon his flowers. But with that being said, I think that OKC might still leave him open in the corner from time to time. So that's kind of my thoughts here. Look, I was hoping Brown was going to be at 9.5. This dude's literally at 12.5, so that's way off. But this is something I might take a nibble at. The 1.5 threes at plus 155. I think OKC is like too disciplined of a team to be giving up like easy backdoor cuts anyways, and like transition opportunities. I believe they were the number 1 transition defense. Yep. So yeah. What are your thoughts on Nugget stuff or Brown or anything?
Yeah, you could take any of those guys and make an argument for them. It's just when you're betting on role players in the playoffs, you can have the right read, just bet on the wrong guy. But Bron, Russ, Gordon, I mean, Russ and Bron are kind of a given. Gordon has been shooting really well, but I think it's still, if you're going to take something away, right, Jokic and Murray, you got to give something up. So I think they're okay with leaving Gordon open as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm surprised that like they let Jokic do that because like the whole season has been with OKC is like they're one of like the worst spot up defenses in the league, and like but they just absolutely shut like the Stars' water off, you know. So
Yeah.
when they came out and like didn't do that, I was like stunned. Especially like the Nuggets are like the perfect team to do that against with like how many non-shooters they have in their rotation. Even like MPJ's at the point where like it's like okay, fuck it, Michael's shooting a three. Like, but yeah, Bubs, I know you're another buy low guy. MPJ, is he calling your name?
I took him game 1. I think he started the game off like 0 for 7. He got up like 5 or 6 shots in the first quarter, literally all wide open looks, had 2 alley-oop dunks blocked. People keep talking about like his injury, but if you're going to see clean looks and the ball's going to go up, like I'm never going to steer away from it. I would definitely be interested in MPJ. It's just the thing is with his minutes, it's like whoever's playing well between him and Russ is going to be the ones that start and finish the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, it's like it's a roller coaster, man. With these guys, I will say Russ and outside of his injury game, which is why this is weird to me, right? Like Russ is obviously he gets guarded the same way every single time. He's still at 12.5. I just like Bubs. I see this shit and I want to puke. Just like this is like a hit rate like this without using like filters. Like this is just too obvious that he's gonna have like a 1 for fucking 9 game and play 14 minutes. So I can't stomach it. I'd rather pivot to a guy who's due like Braun, even though like yeah, I guess that's just how my brain works. But
it's easier to look at Braun's chart than it is Russ's.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're a guy that bets strictly off last 5 and last 10. If you're actually going to go off law of averages and people not being super efficient all the time, it's much easier to bet on Braun than Russ.
Yeah, for sure. I guess my final look is you said, did you catch the game 1 of OKC?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm a big fan of Gordon rebounds, to be honest. Maybe even rebounds and assists, but you can get like a 6.5 or plus money, 8.5 rebounds and assists. He can really dominate the offensive glass when he puts his mind to it, and I think that that's like a key to winning, especially like when Chet's out there. Like he's just so much stronger than Chet. It's ridiculous. He had 22 chances in game 1. And then like this is kind of a throwout game. He still had 5 rebounds in 27 minutes. You could argue like shit if this was a close game and he played 36, 37, 38. Like, you could have got 2 rebounds in that span. So I don't know. Just getting it at plus money, or maybe you could go rebounds and assists because then you're only asking for 2 assists, even though really has not been assisting like he usually does in the playoffs. But Bubs, do you have any thoughts on Gordon?
Yeah, I completely agree. I also think it's important to look at last game. Obviously, his minutes weren't there, but OKC shot the shit out of the ball. So, like, obviously that's going to limit rebound chances. So the fact that he still got 5 and OKC had like 90 points in 3 quarters or whatever that they had is encouraging because obviously anything less, his opportunities are going to go up. And like you mentioned with Chet, Gordon's a tank, dude. Like, he's just – I don't know of anyone stronger than him in the league. Maybe like a Steven Adams or a Zion Williamson, like an athletic freak. But Chet versus Gordon is just like a complete mismatch. And I'm pretty sure he had like 6 or 7 offensive rebounds in that first game. I don't know if there's a way of checking that, but if that's how they're going to guard him in an important game, that could be like an emphasis in his game.
Gordon's had 12 offensive rebounds in the first 2 games. He didn't even have a defensive rebound last game.
Yeah, well, there you go. So he didn't get any rebounds defensively because OKC shot the shit out of the ball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think that's a pretty good look too. I don't know. I think this game could be pretty profitable if it stays close. You know.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm not even like a big rebound or assist better, but I'm kind of encouraged, you might want to take Gordon's rebound because I know it dropped a little bit. Last game they priced it based off the huge game he had the game before. I think 6.5 was like super juiced. And now what's it? Is that plus 110?
Plus 115. It's
like perfect. You go from minus 140 or whatever it was yesterday to plus 115.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and now it's like a better spot at home. Game has a much higher chance of being close. I mean, that was just such an obvious spot. I'm actually still like pissed at myself for not dabbling with some Nuggets unders. But okay.
Denver altitude, tired legs, like OKC might come out flat.
Yeah. I just trust Denver to not get blown out at home in the playoffs. That's just I don't know.
Right, they're too experienced for that.
Yep. Okay, Bubs, is there anything that we didn't touch on, or think you're about ready to wrap it up?
No, that's about it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so the official play here, guys, only one. Obviously, the Pacers, Cavs. You know, it's probably one that you're gonna be better off waiting for. And please tell me, man. Oh wow, this is getting juiced by the second. Great. One official play is gonna be Caruso over 12.5 PRA. My goodness, bro, you gotta be fucking kidding me. That sucks. That's the official play. But hopefully you guys got something from this. Make sure to go check out Bubs on Twitter at Bubs_bets. And thank you guys for tuning in. Of course, if you guys are on YouTube, make sure to drop a like, sub to the channel. If you're on podcast, make sure to leave a review, leave 5 stars, all that good stuff. And thank you guys for tuning in. We'll catch you guys next time.